I'll see you guys in the dark.
This incident occurred a few days ago. My husband and I went to visit my sister, who recently went through surgery and had been stuck at home at her doctor's request. We wanted to go visit to check up on her and give her some company. The trip to my sister's is almost an hour drive. We got about halfway there, and my husband decided to stop to grab something to drink and a snack to share with our 2-year-old since she was getting fussy. We stopped at a gas station that we had stopped at before on previous trips. It's a nice gas station. He parked at one of the gas pumps and locks our daughter and I in. As soon as my husband goes into the store, this man pops out of nowhere, kind of startled me off my phone. He started creeping around our vehicle. We made eye contact, and he kept looking at the driver's side and then back to me. The look he gave was that "I'm thinking of hopping in your truck" look. We kept steady eye contact. He then started pacing back and forth. Eventually, some random man came back to his vehicle that was parked at another pump nearby, and we made eye contact because this man was acting quite strange. The man then started walking away towards the man at the other side, still holding eye contact with me though. By this point, I'm paranoid, and I'm thinking about how I'll defend myself if things take a turn. I'm clenching my phone and hoping that I don't have to dial 911. He crept past the other guy and then walked towards the store behind us. Only he went walking past towards a wooded area nearby and just stood there, watching me. As we're still making eye contact, because I was looking back, I noticed my husband walking back out from the store. The man walked past my husband and went into the store as soon as he saw him walking to our truck. My husband gets in the truck and says the doors weren't even locked. I guess I didn't have to lock it. That's when I tell him what I went through while he was in the store. After that, not locking the door wasn't so funny anymore. I assumed this man was on something because of the way he was acting. He wasn't fully there, and it was very clear to myself and the other man at the pump, who sat there in his car until he saw my husband come back. I'm not sure what his intentions could have been, but it seemed as though he wanted to get into the truck. But what would the intentions from that point forward be? I'm glad that he just decided to be a creep and not move closer to our vehicle. So, to the druggie at the gas station, let's not meet again. It was about 5:30 a.m., and I was on my way back from a night dancing from a bigger town about 40 minutes away where I lived. As I was approaching the exit off the interstate that would take me home, I noticed my gas light was on. Having been so tired, I hadn't been paying attention, so I had no idea how long it had been on. Damn, I thought. The only gas station close to that exit was really sketchy, and there weren't any more for a couple of miles. Oh well, I thought. I pulled into the gas station and parked next to a pump closest to the entrance. When I went inside, the aisle of snacks caught my eye. I was hungry after so many hours of dancing, so I thought I'd look through my options. Well, as soon as I walked into the chocolate bars, an old man with long yellow hair popped up right in front of me. "Whoa, girl," he said, eyeing me up and down. "You must have just gotten back from the club." I was wearing a short black dress with Southwestern design on the collar, fishnet, black-heeled platform boots, and my signature black fedora. After he eyed me up and down, I should have just turned around and immediately paid for my gas and left. But unfortunately, I was still in the mindset that I had to be nice to everyone. So I replied flatly, "Yep, and it was great. But I'm hungry, so I'm going to get a snack. Have a good night." I stepped to the right, which he mirrored. "Hey, you have cool hair. What are these braids called?" I have dreadlocks, which were really long at the time. "They're dreads," I replied, wanting this whole situation to be over with. I was about to turn around when he grabbed one of my dreadlocks and started caressing it. I stepped back immediately. I stepped back immediately. I so wanted to tell him to fuck off and never touch me again, but that complex of mine kept me from doing so. Instead, I just said, "Have a good night," and told myself to forget the snacks. I went up to the counter to pay for my gas, and as I was leaving, I realized he had stayed in the same spot the whole time, just staring at me. As I exited through the door, I heard him say, "See you later, little girl." I power walked to my vehicle. Filling it up with gas felt like forever. I just wanted to get out of there. Once I was done, I hopped in and drove off. Before turning into the main street from the gas station, I saw in my rearview mirror that he was watching me from outside the gas station. It was almost as if he knew I was seeing him watch me, because not 1 second after I looked in the mirror and saw him, he started waving all creepily. I sped off and went home to take a shower, not just because I was sweaty from dancing, but because I felt so violated by him checking me out and touching my hair. Needless to say, creepy old man at the gas station. Let's never meet ever again. So this happened maybe a month ago. So I was on my way to work, sort of hungover and tired. I decided to stop at the gas station that's on my way there to grab an energy drink so that I can get through my shift at work. I leisurely walk in and over to the fridge with all the energy drinks. I'm standing there, staring at all of them, trying to think enough to make a decision, and I can't help but feel eyes on me. I quickly grab one, thinking it was the attendant in the store being weird. I go to walk to the counter and see an older man who's probably in his 50s or 60s, just standing there. I wasn't sure if he was checking me out or digging for cash or what, so I respectfully stood a foot or two behind him. I'm standing there, shifting around, getting impatient because I'm running late. The old man looks at me and says, "Oh, you can go ahead." I politely thank him and step forward to pay for the energy drinks I grabbed. For a better reference, I'm a young lady with brightly colored hair. I have to wear all black to work, and that consists of a tucked-in uniform fitting V-neck shirt and black skinny jeans. I also have a tattoo that goes from the top of my chest trailing down into my shirt. It shows when I wear just about any t-shirt. Now, back to my story. So I hand the dude my drinks and reach into my pocket for some cash. This is when the dude gets really creepy. He looks up at me and asks me, "How old are you, miss?" I'm guessing 20-something, right? So now I'm officially uncomfortable. He's old, and this felt unnecessary. Instead of being a smart person, I responded with, no, I'm 19. Well, he took that as an invitation to keep talking to me. He says, "Oh man, what I would do to be 19 again." Well, that seemed pretty harmless. I awkwardly chuckled and shifted again. Too bad it doesn't stop there. He continues by saying, "If I was in my 20s, you'd be in trouble." He looked to the attendant who smirked creepily, and the old man laughed and put his hand on my arm. Thank God the attendant was handing me my change, so I took my arm away from the old man, grabbed my change, shoved it in my pocket, and grabbed my energy drink and dipped out of there. So, creepy old man who was hitting on me and seemed like he was going to do some messed up stuff. Let's not meet. Also, gas store attendant that played into it, I'm not coming back to your gas station again. I'm probably not the best at telling stories, so please bear with me while I explain what was probably one of the scariest things that has ever happened to me. A couple of years ago, when I was in high school, I had this best friend that I would always hang out with. We always had this tradition where we would always walk to the gas station near her house. The gas station wasn't too far, but when it came to a walking distance, it was about 5 minutes away. One night, it was around 7 p.m., and my friend and I decided that we were going to walk to the gas station to get some Ben and Jerry's ice cream. Right as we were walking up to the gas station, we noticed a car with about 4 men in their late 20s that were parked in a car. Except as soon as we were walking into the gas station, one of the men got out of their car and walked right in with us. Also, while we were walking in, it felt like every guy in the car was staring at us, and it just felt unnerving. As my friend and I were walking around the inside of the gas station like we usually did, this man began matching our pace. So where we would walk, he would walk on the opposite side, staring at us. He tried to play it off like he wasn't, because every time we would look at him, he would look down, acting like he was thinking of purchasing something. Immediately, I began to feel that something was off about this. So I turned to my friend and tell her that we need to leave as soon as possible. Which, looking back now, wasn't the smartest idea. So as we were checking out, I look back and see that the man watching us has left the store without buying anything and went back into the car with his friends. So we finished checking out, and now we are walking out of the gas station. And these next couple of minutes are where I felt like my life would have truly been in jeopardy. Again, I was dumb for even going outside with the creepy men. As my friend and I started walking back towards the house, the car full of guys began to yell at us, saying, "Hey girls, you want to ride?" To which my friend, of course, yelled back and saying no. She wasn't the type to take shit from people, especially guys like this. After she said no, they continued saying other things like, "Come on, we will make it worth your time," and other really weird things. We were probably a good 40 feet from them when my best friend decided to flip them off, which caused them to flip a switch immediately. Anyways, after she did this, they began yelling at us, telling us to get our ass in the car, and don't make us come get you. After hearing this, we both just ran as fast as we could. All I heard behind us was the guys yelling at each other, saying, "Drive, let's go," and the engine was revving. It sounded as if they were trying to catch up to us, which at this point, we were about halfway to where we needed to be, which was my friend's house. When I heard the car get closer, I knew we weren't going to make it to her house in time, so I ended up hiding behind one of the cars parked in someone's driveway with my friend. I heard what sounded like their car stopped, and they were saying stuff that I couldn't understand. After what felt like an eternity, I heard them finally drive off, and we ended up running back to her house as fast as we could, and cried for a good 5 minutes out of fear. I also ended up crying because in the midst of everything, I had dropped my ice cream. So, creepy gas station guys that caused me to lose my ice cream and were potentially kidnappers, let's not meet ever again. So, a little context to my story. I go to school to a private Catholic university in the downtown of one of the most dangerous cities in America. Next to my dorm, there is a little gas station that sells snacks and stuff. I go there pretty often because they sell Ben and Jerry's ice cream, and literally everyone needs that in their lives. It was about 1 p.m., and I was headed to my next class. I thought I would stop there and pick up a snack before class. I was waiting in line, holding my yogurt, and all of a sudden, this huge guy, probably 6'5" and 225 pounds, taps me gently on the shoulder and tells me my hair is beautiful. I'm somewhat used to this encounter because I have really long natural strawberry blonde hair. I smiled warmly and turned back around. Nothing about this man scares me. Out of nowhere, I feel a huge hand slip up the back of my neck and grab a fistful of my hair. The guy groaned and yanked back. I'm by no means strong or able to defend myself against this monster of a man. I'm 5'2" and about 140 pounds. I screamed and whipped out my pepper spray that was on my keychain. Luckily, the guy behind the counter dove over the desk and slammed him off of me. I was still in a weird state of shock. The guy who pulled him off of me was super kind and made sure he left before I went outside. Weird things happen to me living down here, but never this physical and in broad daylight.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell for notifications on future videos and become a stalker of the night. And I'll see you next time.